Hello everyone, and welcome back to Great Broadway Fan's YouTube channel. I'm Luke, and today I'm bringing you another very special video. 2016 is officially in the rearview mirror and behind us, and while there was a lot of negative things that happened throughout the year, I would say that one of the most consistent shining beacons of hope was movies. And I went to the movies a lot this year. I went to the movies so much that I started reviewing movies first on this channel, and then I made my Great Movie Fan channel. And then if you watched my update video that I posted a couple days ago, I made the announcement that for 2017, I am ending Great Movie Fan and moving all future content back onto this channel. So there will be musical theater videos as well as movie reviews exclusively on Great Broadway Fan. And I wanted to post my top 16 favorite movies of the year because there were so many good movies that came out this year. And while there definitely were some divides over certain films, which I will talk about on this list, I love movies. I recently changed my major actually in college to English and film because I want to be a screenwriter one day. That's why last year in 2015, I saw 25 movies throughout the whole year, and I made my top 10 least favorite and my 15 favorite. But this year, I saw 40 movies, and I'm whittling it down to my top 16 favorite and my top 10 least favorite. So there will be a huge chunk of movies that didn't make it on either list. But here we go for my top 16 favorite movies of 2016. All right, so number 16 is The Girl on the Train. I'm really shocked that this one actually made my list, but when I ranked them all in order, it came very, very close between this movie and The Accountant, and both of them were suspenseful thriller movies. But I had to put Girl on the Train above it because the twist ending really did surprise me so much more and kept me on the edge of my seat more than The Accountant did. I adore Ben Affleck and Anna Kendrick for that movie, but Girl on the Train, there was something just really captivating about that film. I felt that the direction was superb, the casting was phenomenal. I didn't read the book, but now that I've seen the movie adaptation, I have every intention of reading the book. Little known fact about myself, I always watch the movies first before I read the book, because that way I have a more enjoyable experience reading what's added in the story and versus having a negative reaction of, oh, they cut that out of the book. But if you actually watch the movie first and then read the book, you have a much more enjoyable experience. Or at least that's my logic of looking at it. Number 15 is The Shallows. This film really took me by surprise. I didn't see it in theaters. I actually rented it on Apple TV and I watched it with my family. And my mother was the one who actually said, honey, if you want to work in film one day, you need to see this movie. And sure enough, The Shallows completely blew me away because it almost is very similar to a one-woman show on a Broadway stage, in that Blake Lively plays a surfer who's pretty much alone for the entire movie. There's a couple of other characters that she interacts with, but it's pretty much a solo person movie where she gets bitten by a shark and she's trying to survive on this rock that's miles from the beach. And while I did say in my review that in the third act, the shark became a little bit unrealistic, the movie as a whole, such a simple story, but so captivating. And that seagull was adorable. Number 14 is Me Before You. Now, a lot of people had problems with this movie. They were saying that it was insensitive to the disabled community, basically saying that, oh, if you're disabled, you need to commit suicide so that the people in your life that are taking care of you can go live a happier life without the burden of you being there. That's not what this movie is. That's not the message of Me Before You. There are some cases like that, and I find that very, very sad. But the message and the moral of Me Before You is a story about how you, even when you fall in love, you can't control people. You can't force someone into a box. Even if you do love them, people are people, and people will want to make their own decisions. Now, Sam McLaughlin's character definitely was a lot more cynical before he met Emilia Clarke's character, but they both fell in love with each other, and they both learned something from the other person. He learned that not all of life is worth moping around for, and she learned from him that you can't control everybody in your life. Everybody will make their own decisions, and you just have to be there to support them. And I think that was a beautiful message to go off of. I adored the film. I really, really enjoyed it. All right, number 13, and this one surprised me at how far low on the list it is, but I had to go with The Jungle Book. Now, I love the Disney live-action fairy tale renaissance, starting with Alice in Wonderland, and then Oz the Great and Powerful, Maleficent, Into the Woods, Cinderella, The Jungle Book, and next year's Beauty and the Beast. Disney's firing on all cylinders with these movies. And The Jungle Book, I will admit, was so visually stunning to watch, but the biggest problem is that I knew in the back of my mind that everything was fake, that nothing was real about the movie, except for Neil Setty's Mowgli. Everything else was CGI'd. Everything was shot in front of a green screen. It's not even like the actors voicing the animals were in motion capture suits like Andy Serkis does, but they were actually in a recording booth and digitally were created as animals. So that was the only thing. Upon the second viewing, that's what really took me out of the movie. I was just like, oh, come on, Disney. You could have tried a little bit harder. You could have shot on location. You could have used motion capture. But the movie is still visually stunning. And with a movie like The Jungle Book and Rogue One, both properties owned by Disney, it gives me a lot of faith and hope going forward with the future of computer technology, especially with Disney and their movies. All right. So number 12 is actually a tie for two movies, and that's Hail Caesar and Cafe Society. The reason I tied both of these movies together, and I couldn't put one above the other, is because they're pretty much the same movie in that they include a cavalcade of movie stars that are only used for small snippet scenes throughout the whole film. There was another movie that came out this year similar to that, and that's Rules Don't Apply. That was the Warren Beatty movie, and that did not make this list. But I loved Hail Caesar because I felt that it was a great depiction of the movie studios back in the 1950s. Back when contract players were still around and producers pulled all the strings. And I felt that the performances were really fantastic. This movie introduced us to Alden Ehrenreich, who just got cast as Han Solo in the new Han Solo Origins movie. Channing Tatum was the bad guy, and George Clooney was the funny guy, and Scarlett Johansson was there too. I really enjoyed Hail Caesar. Cafe Society, I would have put it higher had it not been for the really, really bad ending. I have a problem with Woody Allen's endings for his movies. I don't agree with Woody Allen as a person and some of the decisions that he's made throughout his life, but you can't deny that he is a really great filmmaker. If you've never seen a Woody Allen film, I would recommend watching Bullets Over Broadway, Midnight in Paris, and Cafe Society. They're all three beautiful movies. They're throwbacks to older films. Even though Midnight in Paris is a movie set in modern times, it does have its throwback moments. And both of them beautiful. Their costumes in both movies, fantastic. All right, number 10, and this is going to sound like Hollywood blasphemy, but I have to put Ghostbusters. Yes, Ghostbusters made it into my top 10 of the year. And here's why. I did not grow up with the original movie. I had never seen a Ghostbusters movie previous to this film. And I have to say, this Ghostbusters movie was great. It was a fun comedy romp. I couldn't believe that people were taking this movie so freaking seriously. I mean, they made this movie feel like it was the coming of the apocalypse. And it was a clear line in the sand to actually see the hate and the misogynistic backlash against this movie. But when actually watching it, it was a really enjoyable, funny movie. And this is going to sound horrible to those of you who are fans of the original, but when I watched the original finally for the first time, I liked the remake better. And I know that sounds crazy, but that also was my same reaction when I saw The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull before I saw all of the first 3 Indiana Jones movies. But if the remake makes me watch the original, then clearly they've done something right. I felt that all 4 of those ladies, Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Kate McKinnon, and Leslie Jones, all of them top-notch comedians. And I can't wait to see what projects they do going forward. I'm really sad that this Ghostbusters is not getting a sequel because people just didn't let it live at the box office. So that's unfortunate. I feel bad for Paul Feig and Sony, but I really did enjoy this movie. All right, number 9 is Hacksaw Ridge. This is the only movie on this list that is based on a true story, but I really, really loved this movie. I felt it was superbly directed by Mel Gibson. I felt that the special effects were amazing. I mean, you literally felt like you were in the middle of a war zone. From the explosions, to the bullets flying, to the blood and the actual like gore effect of warfare was superb. I'm so happy that this movie is getting awards recognition at the Golden Globes. I hope it goes to the Oscars with some nominations. And I'm not joking. Andrew Garfield's performance is Oscar worthy. And I would love to see him win the Oscar for this role because I think that he truly, truly deserves it. This was a great part for him. Number 8, Doctor Strange. Going into this movie, I had my expectations were so low on this movie. I was like, it's not an Avengers movie. It's a brand new character. It's Benedict Cumberbatch. They're trying to get an Oscar nominee in a superhero movie. Like, what's up with that? But oh my lord, Doctor Strange blew me away. The technological achievements with this film were stunning. If you haven't seen Doctor Strange, you've missed out on a fantastic opportunity. Go see it, and if there's any theater remotely playing it possible, still go see it. Doctor Strange was such a fantastic movie-going experience, and I can't believe that he's actually going to be incorporated into the rest of the Marvel movies. He's going to be in Thor Ragnarok, and there's rumors that he will be in Infinity War coming later down the pipeline for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Benedict Cumberbatch was amazing in this movie. So good. Number 7 is Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Yes, Rogue One made it into the top 10, but it did make it at number 7. Why? Well, because I feel that all 6 of the upcoming films I'm going to talk about, I had a much more enjoyable experience while watching the movie. There were a couple times in Rogue One when I was just genuinely bored. And that was not when the action sequences were happening, or when they were paying homage to the original trilogy. Like I said in my review, it was a great movie. I thought it was absolutely amazing that they were willing to go dark and sophisticated for a Star Wars movie, especially owned by Disney. I felt that its entire diverse cast was great. I felt that the space battle was amazing. And the callbacks to the original trilogy and episode 4 were really, really spot on fantastic. Okay, number 6, Suicide Squad. Yes, I loved this movie. I saw it 3 times this year, and it was just incredible. I do have serious problems with the character of the Enchantress. I felt like she was the worst part of the whole movie, but aside from her, Everything else was fantastic. The character design, the casting of all the actors was spot on perfect. My favorite performances in the movie were Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, Viola Davis's Amanda Waller, and I really did enjoy Jared Leto's Joker. I'm really excited to see what comes forward from the DCEU. I know that Margot Robbie is going to be producing the upcoming Gotham City Sirens movie, where she's going to star opposite Poison Ivy and Catwoman. And I know that Jared Leto and Margot Robbie will be returning in later movies, maybe even Justice League in 2017. But I loved it. It was a fun, action-packed romp with just a really, really bad villain. Number 5, Zootopia. Yes, Zootopia made it on this list, and Moana did not. Because I feel that Zootopia was a much superior movie. I feel that Zootopia is one of the best animated movies of the year, in that it deals with stereotypes and racism and prejudice, while making it an all-ages friendly animated kids movie. I mean, way to go, Disney, for tackling real social issues with your film. I mean, everybody thought that Frozen was progressive, and I did too. But I feel that Zootopia is one of the most sophisticated, I would say Zootopia is the most sophisticated Disney animated film since Beauty and the Beast back in 1991. I felt that Jennifer Goodwin and Jason Bateman did amazing job with their voice work. Everybody across the board did great. Idris Elba was amazing. And the animation, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Number 4, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Yes, this movie was hated by critics and hated by fans. But, dang it, I loved this movie. I absolutely loved this film. I had such an enjoyable experience going to see this movie. I couldn't even, I just couldn't even deal what I was seeing. It was so fantastic. I mean, this is the movie that introduced us to Ben Affleck's Batman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, and it set up Suicide Squad, and then Wonder Woman's coming out this year, and so is Justice League. The action sequences were fantastic. The story was dark and gritty and complex, and I love that. I love that DC was willing to go dark for a superhero movie. You don't see that anymore. You don't see it from Marvel. So good. And I know that people had problems with it, but darn it, I love that movie so much. Okay, number 3, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Before 2016, I had never read a Harry Potter book and never seen a single Harry Potter movie. But in 2016, I was finally introduced to the Harry Potter franchise with the films. And I went to go see Fantastic Beasts with a die-hard Harry Potter fan, and we both thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. I felt that the magic was fantastic. I felt that the direction was great. I felt that Queenie was just my favorite character in the whole movie. The twist in the third act that happens, the 2 twists in the third act were amazing and was not expecting it. And I can't wait to see what J.K. Rowling and Warner Brothers does with their new Harry Potter franchise that they're planning for. Okay, number 2 is La La Land. I loved this movie. I reviewed it on this channel, and while I did say that I had problems with it in that not all of the music was very diverse, and that it was like ballads and then poppy duets and then dance numbers, I did feel that this movie was truly one for the ages. I mean, this is a film that could easily be put up in the ranks of the classic MGM movie musicals. I mean, Ryan Gosling, as I said, does great in the movie. He learned how to play piano for it. He was fantastic. But Emma Stone, I mean, she just steals the whole film. And I'm so happy that I'm so happy that a movie musical is getting buzz for Best Picture. I mean, that is what's really blowing my mind. And I can't wait to see what happens, not only with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone and their careers, but also for movie musicals going forward as a whole. So, what is my favorite movie of the year? I wrestled back and forth with it. And you know what? I'm really surprised that Sing is my favorite movie of the year. I know! Crazy! Crazy that after an entire year of films, that Sing, an animated Illumination Entertainment jukebox musical, was my favorite of the year. But here's why. One, the animation is so beautiful in this film. Two, the voiceover work is fantastic. Three, the music and the way that it's handled, even though it's modern music, is spot on perfect. And number four, the messages and lessons and morals in this movie really are fantastic. In that you can never give up on your dream. No matter how difficult the odds may be, no matter if people don't believe in you, no matter if everything is pushing against you, whether it's external or an internal struggle, you can't give up on your hopes. You can't give up on your dreams, because you know what? Sometimes they come true. And that's why Sing is my favorite movie of 2016. So thank you everyone so much for watching this video. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Leave in the comments down below, what were your favorite movies of 2016? Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on social media. My links to Twitter and Instagram are down in the video description. Thank you so much for supporting me and this channel, and I can't wait for what 2017 is going to bring to us. So thank you everybody, and I'll see you next time.